Hello everybody, this is Andy, and welcome to episode 25 of Gregtech New Horizons. I've done a bit of stuff in between episodes, like add a second molecular assembler, so I could add in a bunch more patterns in here to make crafting slightly easier. For now, it's fairly simple, and I'm still doing most stuff by hand, but it is there, and it does work. I'm also getting a little, lag right now. It's very framey, even though my frame rate's perfectly fine. So if it looks a little weird in this video, I'm very sorry. I also I turned on hover mode and I don't know how to turn it off. But I did down here add a little rubber thing, semi-automatic. It just extracts. I had this in the other base as well, but I set it up here at MV. So we're getting rubber right here, and it's getting automatically solidified up there, which means we now have a somewhat automatic source of rubber, and it can be used throughout our base as necessary. I also have a ton of rubber wood now, and I also started planting some oak saplings, so we're also going to get normal oak wood, because rubber wood can't be turned back into any plank. It is just what it is, so we need some plank to use around the base as well as the rubber wood. I also did notice a very annoying recipe that doesn't work. Rubber wood can normally say it is centrifuged in a centrifuge of any kind. It can turn straight into methane, just like this, but it can also, with a program circuit 2, turn into these things. However, with a program circuit 2, it just doesn't work, so I can't get my resin and then turn that into raw rubber dust that way, because the recipe's broken in this version, I guess. Also, something that's going to help us out today is I brought my applied logistics system up here and plugged it into wireless connectors. These things aren't very hard to make, so they're nice and easy to get, and using this I can bring the channels that I have out here directly into the plasticrete blob thing we have here, so I can start auto crafting circuits and stuff like that. So I think that's probably what we're going to set up first. I should not fall. So, in order to set up some of the stuff that we need for that, like SMD capacitors and SMD resistors, transistors, all this kind of cool stuff, we're going to need assemblers with specific things inside of them. So this one is going to export polyethylene as soon as it gets the chance. It's going to fight for other things over polyethylene, but eventually it will fill up, which is perfect. And this one is going to get rubber, which is great. It's going to fight for other things over rubber, just like the polyethylene one, but eventually it will get the rubber that it needs. So now with that out of the way, we can go make some more recipes. And there we go. There's the recipe for capacitors. I also made the prerequisites. So if I just shove this into... I'm going to have to run up here and put this first one manually because I don't have the levels right now to name the interfaces up here. So this is the polyethylene one, and this one goes right there. So now if I go over back to my interface over here, I ought to be able to just order 20 of these, and it will go into there, and they shouldn't take very long. I don't think these take quite a very long time, but I'd like to see one craft complete right now. You can do it. Oh, I forgot to set the auto export. I bet they're both done up here. That is definitely something I forget to do all the time. Yep, they're both done right in there. I just need to use this, and my screwdriver is in the ME system. Perfect. I'm going to do the same and set up the recipes for the resistors and the transistors, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've gone ahead and brought the ME system in here properly. We have one channel being used up by this ME interface, and I'm using the same system I used in the other place to throw items and then fluid extract on demand, because extracting multiple, it's like 64 bucket, extracting too much tin would be a bad thing because I don't have an infinite source of tin, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to extract it on demand in here, which is perfectly fine. So I'm using blocking mode on this guy, and if I put some circuit recipes in, we should just be able to automatically request circuits. So here we go, the recipe for MV circuits. Not all of this stuff is automated like the plastic circuit board. I still need to add recipes for that stuff, but everything else is pretty much automated except for I'm not auto cutting wafers yet, because I'm not auto producing wafers yet, because they're kind of a little bit rough to come by still. So if I go up in here, I definitely didn't need to run all the way here, but it's perfectly fine. If I go up in there, put that recipe in, and go all the way back to my interface over here, I should be able to see it in the integrated circuits, and then I can craft like as many of them as I want. Can I get 10 right now? No, give me 4, thank you. And hopefully, if we run all the way back up over here, we should be able to see them crafting. I really hope so. Did things get shoved into here? Yes, I'm not extracting here, so things get extracted. Hopefully the tin went in here. Oh, I forgot to add tin to the recipe. That's an issue. Okay, tin is added to the recipe. I fixed everything, but I still need to shove the tin in here manually and set the auto export of fluids in here. Okay, we fixed all of our issues. Hopefully this thing will craft up fine, get shoved back in the IMI system, and complete the craft. I'm gonna wait a minute and hopefully it all works out. The craft is complete and I have 5 integrated processors now. So why don't we go ahead and, oh, another issue with not being able to use that centrifuging recipe for the rubber wood is I have no completely renewable source of carbon, which is really obnoxious. Hopefully it gets fixed very soon, or it's my fault. One of those two things. Okay, I've also gone ahead quickly, since I already had the chemical reactor set up, I added interfaces to them, so now we can make plastic circuit boards perfectly on demand and perfectly well. Right now, on demand, but slow is kind of the name of the game. If I don't have to walk around and do the crafts myself, I'm winning. Actually, I realized I don't have to use the integrated, or the crappier tier 1 processors, the LV processors. We can use these microprocessors, which, one, are a lot easier to craft and use the resources we already have, and they craft 2 at a time, which is really, really awesome. So if I shove them in there, and then I say, hey, can I have some more microprocessors, please? And it'll give it to me. Okay, so I've gone ahead and added the recipes for the 4 circuits that we used. I added the HV and the EV ones, except I still can't craft this one because even though I have everything available, it's still calculated in the crafting tree just in case it needs it, so the bytes are over 1,000. And right now, my crafting CPU is only worth 1,000, so we'll need to upgrade that later, but for now, I don't need any more EV circuits. Actually, as soon as I said that, I realized what I was trying to do next. So, a 4K crafting storage it is. So, this thing, as soon as it comes online, should be able to craft the EV circuits without any issue. Okay, make me one more. We're going to need 2, I think, in order to make this advanced electrolyzer. Yes, we need to electrolyze our first, what is it? Tungsten. Our first tungsten. And this thing actually requires a little bit of platinum. I think I still have a little bit of reinforced glass left over, so that's perfectly fine. But luckily, I processed a bit of platinum a while ago. I just need to compress it in my compressor, wherever that may be. Apparently, a compressor recipe just doesn't exist, so I have to alloy smelt it into the ingots. I mean, fine, but kind of stupid. And there we go. The advanced electrolyzer. Now, powering this thing is actually, well, I don't have an EV line right now. I have no way to power EV machines except for off my main network. And I'm only producing 2 amps of EV, so running this might shut off my entire base just to pull enough power. However, let me grab that, what is it, tungstate or something like that, and we need 14 in order to electrolyze into the 2 tungsten, and I believe there might be a quest where we get more back, like we might get a couple extra tungsten, but for now, this will be good. So hopefully it's getting power, and we can just, oh, it needs hydrogen. Let me go grab a thing full of hydrogen. Okay, there's hydrogen. Also, I threw nitrogen back into my system using the fluid interface, and it went somewhere I definitely don't want it to be, so I'm gonna have to find that very soon before it mucks up a bunch of processes. That's kind of annoying. Anyways, here we go. Oh, it doesn't even take that long. Perfect. Wait, do you give side products, or is it just tungsten? A little bit of lithium and a little bit of oxygen. Kind of useless to me right now, dude. Oh, there's the first one. And there's the second one. Perfect. Now I'm just gonna tear this guy down, and it looks like my wrench is gone. So you can live here for a little while, bud. The reason I need this tungsten is actually to make these structural coke oven casings so we can finally create the cetane boosted diesel. I need a bunch of this tantalloy 61, which, yeah, it can only use 61, which has to be made by making the dust in a mixer with tantalloy, titanium, yttrium, and you get 11. And tantalloy 60. Tantalloy 60 has to be made with tungsten and tantalum. I have tantalum, that's fine. The main issue, I think, is yttrium. How the heck do I get yttrium? I was beginning to think this was an impossible task. We needed to go to a completely different planet that would require better rockets that I can't make somehow for some reason. However, it looks like I just need to centrifuge some rare earths, and that will give me the first little bit of yttrium I need. I think it also gives me a little bit of tungstate, but I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, there's the first yttrium, cadmium, cerium, cesium, and oh, neodymium. Neodymium is something we also need. Rare earth I can find on the overworld, I think, so that's pretty chill. Lanthanum. I think I need lanthanum as well. So I'm going to let this rare earth run, and hopefully we'll get the little bit of yttrium that we need. So I also need an HV mixer. I don't know if I have one in the base, but actually I definitely have one in the base. I just made an extra one for no reason. I'm sure it'll get used in automation eventually. So I need a program circuit on 12. I need tantalum and tungsten, and that's going to take approximately 1 billion years. Oh, it's not that bad. And there's the tantalloy 60, and that'll get used here to make the tantalloy 61. However, I don't... This uses so much of the tantalloy 61 per one. I think I need like 10 of these structural blocks, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus another 4, no, plus another 2. See, what? That's 8 ingots per. So I'm going to get just over 1 structural casing per craft of here. So I'm going to need a lot more yttrium, which means I'm going to need a lot more rare earths. So I'm going to need to find a good way to get this. Monazite? Maybe monazite will be able to do that. Okay, it is now much, much later, but I have smelted up all of the tantalloy 61, processed a bunch of monazite that I ended up digging up when I was on the moon because there was neodymium in the vein, and now I'm just waiting for my food to happen. And here we go, 10 structural coke oven casings. Let me go ahead and grab all of the rest of the stuff that we need for the out of the chest way up there, because I came down here for some reason to craft this. I'm gonna grab the stuff and then we can set it up on this infi line. Alright, here we go. Energy hatch connected. I need an output hatch, which will probably go here, and an input hatch, input fluid hatch, that can go in the back here. And wait, this is gonna be too dumb to set up on camera. I need to think for this, so I will be back in just a moment. This guy looks really, really cool, and it looks like the 10 structural coke oven casings that I made is going to be exactly enough. Can I get up there, please? Thank you. Because I need 8 here, and then the muffler hatch in the center, and hopefully this multi-block will form. Correct? Maybe not correct. Oh wait, it formed except for the muffler hatch. What's going on up here, buddy? It's kind of just looking like the muffler hatch doesn't have a texture for this because the multi-block is formed according to the controller. So I'm gonna assume it's gonna work. Let me go grab some tape for it. Alright, so we're all ME connected up. The nitrogen getting exported into here apparently solved my nitrogen problem because I checked everything up there and it is not being stored anywhere. So I think we're quite alright. I'm exporting rubber wood into here, or nitrogen into here, and this, if I put this circuit in, should begin processing if I whack it with my hammer, right? Oh, please tell me I have my hammer on me. The moment of truth. And it doesn't look like it's running. What did I mess up? Alright, I got everything to work. Apparently it just doesn't like the rubber wood, so we have to use oak wood. Okay, so the wood vinegar this guy, or this guy make, or no, the wood vinegar this guy makes gets sent into this tank, gets sent into this distillery, which gets sent into this, which is fluid storage bus. That gets sent over to an HV fluid heater. The acetone that gets made over there gets sent into an HV fluid heater, which gets turned into ethanone, which then gets sent all the way back over here into this MV chemical reactor, where if I put this programmed circuit in, it will react with the nitric acid in order to produce some tetranitromethane. The cell automatically goes back into the nitric acid tank, and the tetranitromethane needs to be outputted into this little baby tank right here, because I'm not going to store a whole lot of it because it creates a ton of cetane boosted diesel per bucket. So I have what, 2 buckets in here right now? That is maybe 100 crafts of cetane boosted diesel, which is really good. There is one issue I've noticed. This thing doesn't like running out of wood, and when it runs out of wood, it gets very angry and it stops working. So I'm gonna see if I can fix that issue, but hopefully it'll just resolve itself. So I do need to fluid. Nope. I need to fluid storage bus this guy. Send that back over into this tank, and it looks like I'm gonna need to make another fluid export bus. And there we go. The mixer is running full time, producing a ton of cetane boosted diesel, and the cetane boosted diesel is getting shoved into here, and I'll storage bus it eventually. I'm only going to store up to 256 buckets, the high voltage fluid tank. That's how much it stores, because I think we'll produce it much faster than we can use it at this point. Same problem here, I can't get it to work, so I might just have to break and replace the controller every now and again, which is kind of obnoxious. But I'll try and figure it out in between episodes. Okay, let's go ahead and end the video here. This is all the time I have, and I'm also tired of playing. I don't want to play this video game anymore. I need a break. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, maybe leave a like or something down below. Next time, hopefully, we'll get that combustion generator up and running, and we'll automate a bunch more processes as well. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.